Right, so I think this is a better position for me to actually like record because of the lighting. I should start considering these a bit more. But anyways, today I decided to kind of like get over a couple of videos that I had before. So I'm literally gonna do them from top to bottom. Well, first one video is new tattoo, and I don't know, man, it's not something worth talking about. But it's the logo of my company, so I'm definitely very much interested in it and invested in it. That's basically all I don't know. When the time comes and I explain the logo to you guys, maybe I'll actually like discuss it. But I'm gonna scratch it as like a failed idea or an excited something exciting from my side. But the other one is entertainment is life itself. So so let's discuss that. Why the fuck not? Will be a good name for the video as well. Um, So, like my concept of gamification, right? Because like if you're looking at your day and you're and everything on your day is a side quest as you actually build your skills towards the thing that you're doing. And even when you're working on your actual end goal and end result, you're still, I don't know, man. Like you don't really get experience. The experience you get fixing a car is literally the experience of applying all the other things you learned how to fix before you started fixing a car. So you kind of have to like go, like fixing a car as a big as the whole thing versus fixing wheels and fixing engines and fixing doors and fixing like electronics and shit like this. And eventually you're like fixing the car. So every one of them technically has its own like kind of thought process that we work around. So like my goal to gamify like a reality, and it's beautiful because today I was actually like thinking, I was watching a video yesterday about a band that I like, and the way they kind of like isolated how they, as the guy was explaining how he was able to build a business model that worked for him and allowed him to kind of like expand his business and him being a CEO versus him being like a musician, a creative. And he said something super beautiful, which is how you were able to kind of like build on your creative passion, like actually profit off of your creative passion. So that's what he basically talked about for like, he mentioned it, but he was talking about it for like 15 minutes. It was a beautiful, was a good end of the night. It was a good thing to end the night with. I stood up, I actually like took a couple of notes and then basically found a way to like close my laptop and try to sleep. But so the entertainment as life itself, as in if we are actually playing the game of life, right? Because that's practically what we're doing. If we're playing the game of life, then ultimately we have to kind of like take every challenge that's thrown at us, and when we have nothing to do, find challenges. Uh, a challenge could literally be relax and do nothing, so that you could actually like empty your like mind, calm your calm your tits. I will get yelled at for saying something like this. My friend once mentioned that I'm like a guy that never got out of the like 1990s. Because fuck modern day society, man. Back then you said whatever you wanted, and like everyone kind of like either agreed with you, didn't agree with you, and fought you over it. But everything was cool. There was no, I'm never going to talk to this guy again just because he opened his mouth. But anyways, so the entertaining part about life is literally those challenges. And if you wake up every day and you go like, no, what am I going to entertain myself with today? You get to decide what you want: drama, you want something intense, you want something calm, you want adrenaline, adrenaline. You want adrenaline, you want love, you want affection, you want pleasure, drinking, going out, like crazy stuff. You want exercise, like dopamine hits, you want serotonin. You kind of like, you have all these kind of like tagged, you have all these tagged like effects that you could reach out for in the day, and each one of them kind of like messes with your mind and like interacts with your mind instead of saying messes. And you'll be able to like engage with each one of them. You'll be able to kind of like discuss, debate each one of them. and decide you want to go for it again or not. You kind of get the chance to build your environment the way you see it, because like the whole world is your oyster, right? But like ultimately, like you start with like where you sleep, and then you build your environment around it, and then eventually you kind of like build towards your community, and you expand. Like it's very much an adventurous experience. Like any way you try to like explain it, it always comes down to you kind of have to make a decision of what you want to do, and you have to understand why you want to do it, and then basically figure out how to do it, and maybe with who you would want to do it, with who, with whom, with who, with whom, or with who. Okay, so so life itself is just the game, and the entertainment is that fun part of it, is the actual play itself. And again, like it's funny the way I'm actually trying to explain the entertaining part of it and the fun part of it, because there was just a video that I watched earlier, not earlier, sorry, like sometime last week. It's it's like a game designer explains the secret to fun, and the whole way he explained fun was more directed at the it's the engagement in something. It's not really the actual, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you actually give whatever you're engaging with its time, and if you give it like a chance to express all these details, then more fun will come out of it because of that engagement. And most of the time, we have fun in the stuff we're interested in, but the stuff that we're not interested in, we kind of like don't. That's the words that he used. We don't give it its respect, and but we think it's undeserving, right? Like, why should I like give this attention? Why should I give this attention? Well, the fact like every single thing around you actually is a contributor to the overall, whether you like it or not. And if something exists within your realm, ultimate form of presence is allowing it to kind of reveal itself the best way possible. And the smallest thing is a bottle of water, and then when I look at a bottle of water, I don't see plastic and water inside of it. I see all the effort, all the detail, all the design, the colors. Like all of these are just a combination of a whole lot of people adding in these details. Whether it is, for example, the plastic because it's a cheaper mold, so they make this design to make it as a standard. Whether it's because of the grip, whether it's this here is 1 liter, this is half a liter as a size. I'm assuming this stuff, right? But all of these are details to be revealed. Now I interact with a bottle of water for like a minute, barely. Like the whole day, I'll have like I don't know, like I drink enough water, but the whole day I have like 3 to 4 minute interactions with the bottle of water. But what about the hour-long interactions, for example, with the software that I'm using, a tool that I'm using, with an individual that I'm interacting with a place that I'm frequenting? All of those things are actually basically major parts of the day's game, of the day's entertainment. And sometimes when I find myself bored, the first thing I do is I consider the fact that boredom is a luxury. But then I start looking around me and thinking of other things that I would want to do. And sometimes that's when like not necessarily the best of thoughts come up. But the first thing I do is kind of like look at something that's not necessarily like actually it's entertaining when it comes to like the anxiety that it gives me, but I try to see an exciting part of why it kind of shows up, and then I look at how my day could actually be a bit more entertaining, or my moment, or my hour, or my minute, or whatever. My boredom could be a bit more entertaining with certain activities, certain sense of directions, and certain things that we could actually like push for and like build upon. And ultimately, every single day, if the entertainment is actually like if you thrive within the entertainment itself of the day, then ultimately the day afterwards you're building on top of that. You're consistently like pushing to the whole to the whole fun vibe of like what am I doing today, and where is it taking me, and why do I want to go there, and how do I plan on actually getting it done. And I feel like that's more of a it's better than a survival's approach. I feel like like seeking the entertainment of life itself seeking life as its own entertainment, like the fact that you can actually wake up and look at the sun. And everyone kind of talks about these things, like you're alive, enjoy yourself, like enjoy these moments and like be present, all that stuff. But we don't really explain, or maybe it's just me, but we don't really explain how to actually enter such zones, how to enter such details, how to enter just such engagements with your surroundings, with like I don't know, the trees that you pass by every day on your way to work, and the smells that you kind of like wake up to in the morning, even though if it's just your cat farting because you gave her like some weird food that they don't normally eat, just because you share all your food with them. But so it's just like life itself is entertainment, and we can actively or passively like enjoy it, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole point. Everything becomes fun once you actually give it its. I really need to have a full video about that guy's discussion. It's amazing because he uses like Mary Poppins and all this stuff. But step by step, you're kind of like creating what the Indians call dharma, the dharma of life. It's like the whole play, and then you kind of like building with the ups and with the downs. You're kind of like adding more tension to the whole like oof, it's going to like end explosive, just creation, and then suddenly like I really hope all of you are understanding what I'm saying because I'm enjoying this way too much. All right, babies, yalla. Thank you and later.